this time, Martin Odegaard. Zinchenko from Ketchia, it's in, it's 4. Martinelli tiptoeing in. Predatory, perfect. There is a gorgeous arrogance about Arsenal now.
It really is. They are enjoying every second of this.
Hello and welcome to Not Another Arsenal Podcast, aka the Hector Bellerin of Arsenal Podcast. My name is Mike Hers, your host, and today we got a two-man show. Kelly and I and Kelly. We're going to talk about the 2 cup games we recently had. What was it, the last quarterfinal? Where are we in the FA Cup right now? It was the last 8 versus Mansfield. There you go. And the last 16 in the Champions League. Undefeated. You know, in perspective, all things considered, this Champions League draw, I mean, if we're looking around the other places in England, we're looking like fucking superstars right about now, Kelly. And maybe that has me in a little bit of a good mood. Maybe, you know, misery from other people, the rival fans. Some amazing clips and some amazing banter coming out of this last Champions League game. But some amazing tears. And too bad Chris isn't here, but he's been basking in the glory of all the tears of the rivals, seeing that we ended up on Spurs, just bathing. The fact that we drew versus not Spurs, Southampton, in the FA Cup. Oh my goodness, it's just absolutely insane. So we're gonna keep this nice, brief, and polite. You know, we did kind of decided. I was reminded that there was a podcast about 30 minutes ago, so shame on me. Props to Kelly for making this happen tonight. First and foremost, as always, the introductions and the one and only introduction of the night. Kelly, welcome back, Kelly.
Yeah, thanks for having me, buddy. Yeah, I kind of blocked this off, and I had. Full disclosure too, I would not have been able to do this if I did not have like a nice work resolution today. So I was efficient today, made the pod work today. I know Chris has been buried with work the same as I have, and I think to you too. But I'm very happy that we could kind of carve out some time and make sure that we're touching on these things, because what ends up happening whenever we go 2 weeks without, the pace of play now is that we have 2 to 3 games, and you can hardly recall what's happened 2 games ago, which ends up being 7 days ago. So I think we're going to do our very best as a podcast, don't quote me on that, to try to hit it weekly to make sure that we don't get too far behind the 8 ball. Otherwise, we're just going to be speaking too far away. Like, it's going to be too far away, and things change so much. And again, we're still, Mikey, like you said, we're in 4 cups too. We're having favorable draws in multiple cups. Like, obviously, the quadruple is not on, but the quadruple is on. Obviously. It's not on. Something's going to happen that's going to be stupid.
So, you know what? It's funny. I missed the Champions League game live, and I and again, you and I have been hot. We've been running hot and cold in this season, all season.
You and I are like throwing the nuclear football back and forth. Like, I feel like either you or I or both of us is always like unbelievably happy or really, really off of it. And I feel like you and I have matched each other's energy, this year, which has probably not been great.
We're driving everybody else crazy.
Oh my god!
We're like the living embodiment of the meme where it says, "Oh yay, my team is playing," and in the middle it's like, "I want to fucking die." Yeah. And at the end is like, "Yay, we won." Yeah. That's us for the entire season. Like one non 3-0 game, and we're like, "Oh fuck." Burn it all down.
This is like the one time that like it's probably good for us to not live in the same neighborhood, because if you and I were watching these games together in person every week, I think our wives would have kicked us out. We'd be sleeping in our fucking cars right now, to be honest with you.
1 minute we're like, what the fuck is Ange doing? Is he available? And the other one like, oh my god, that thing is genius. But just touching on the Mansfield game, I will say again, this one I wasn't able to rewatch. The Champions League I was able to go back to it, but just based on the starting lineup, I do have to say, man, again, it's one of those weird. People call it a back 5. It depends on how you want to look at it. It was kind of like a 3-4-3 type of situation. He was really desperately trying to give both Saliba and Gabriel the day off, which I tremendously appreciate. But back 3, Calafiori, he lives, Mosquera, and Marley Salmon, which we'll discuss his substitution. Gabriel Martinelli, Havertz, Norgard, and Madueke in the middle, and of course Dauman, dude. I wasn't expecting him to start, but he started. Trossard on the left, which is nice to see that he's fit, and Gabriel Jesus. Reasonable starting 11 for the opposition that we're going against. Listen, I am pro being a bitter bastard after a win when we play like shit. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like this was the game to be upset about a bad like performance. And like it's funny because I feel more positive about this one, and we won it, than the Leverkusen one. And I think I could summarize it, Kelly, in my perspective is, well, we played a team that barely plays with each other.
Yeah.
Max Dahman doesn't often play, if any. Marley Salmon is only recently started coming into the season. Bit part minute, never really started. Calafiore has been out for a really long time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? We're playing for fitness. We're playing a whole entire starting 11 in order to rest our strongest starting 11 for fitness purposes.
Yeah.
You told me we go do a pickup game at a park, play 6v6, and it's complete fucking strangers, and like, oops, just place a pass.
Yeah.
I could live with it. I personally, I could live with it. Like, I don't think this would have been our performance with a more like United. And we all know that Mikel Arteta always talks about having partnerships on the field. We had exactly 0 partnerships. So, all things considered, we won. So it's easy to overlook. But did you care about the performance much at all? Like, did it bother you as much as other people?
No, this is one that I can compartmentalize fairly readily, because we have maybe the first time truly in this kind of like Arteta era, we have so obviously have 2 bigger fish, right? And some people would argue too that like the fact that we're already in the League Cup final is more important than this too, because we're in a final. Like, you don't have to worry about anything that happens. Like, it's really easy if we get knocked out, not to Mansfield Town obviously, but if we get knocked out of the FA Cup, it's really easy to rationalize. It's like, okay, this is not something that will distract us from an actual cup final, which we can win trophies, because everybody's trying to dunk on fans online that we don't win any trophies. It's like, we won the worst trophy, but it's still a trophy, right? It's not going to distract us from the Champions League. It's not going to distract us from the Premier League, which I think, depending on who you are, is 1A, 1B. That we would throw all the rest of this and lose and exit in embarrassing fashion to be in the title race until the last week and be in the Champions League final or something like that, right? And so we handled this match exactly how we should have, which is having massive amounts of rotation. Obviously the number one priority was not, I don't even think the number one priority is winning this match, was to go and make sure to minimize the miles on the legs of the most important players and the most overplayed players on the roster. And this was away on a fucking cow pitch too. And no matter what you say, you're playing in a League One stadium against players who had, like, after the game, they had one of the goal scorers was like, I was a huge Arsenal fan growing up. My goal was always to play with them or against them. So he scored a goal, of course, and gives it absolutely everything he has. Like, we're the first time in Arsenal history, I think, that we started 2 16-year-olds in an actual match of consequence in a first club team match. I mean, looking through the team too, Gabriel Jesus is obvious. Like, he's going to be playing in Brazil next year. Like, he's done.
No, I'm speaking his arrival to Milan into existence. So he's going to be a Milan legend starting.
You deserve that, asshole, if he actually goes there. Again, Kepa, who doesn't ever get off the bench. Mosquera, who's like relatively recently back from injury. This is like a ramshackle team, and we still basically played a lot of Arsenal football with being leakier. Like, I'm going to pull up the stats here, just some frame of reference. We took 21 shots. We had 10 on target. We had 2/3 of the ball. We doubled up their passes. We were way more accurate. We had 8 corners. We dominated them, and they scored a sucker punch goal, and we did enough to get over the line. And again, we had to get to that point too, where we had to come in, and I don't even think you don't want to bring Eze in, because there's basic fitness stuff that happens. Like, I think you're okay with your more important starting players playing 20 to 30 minutes, provided they don't get injured. And I guess maybe the biggest negative in this one is that Trossard was hurt. And I think we probably saw the knock-on effect going to the Champions League, the kind of incompatibility of the people we were forced to play in this match. And again, Bukayo Saka came on this match, but I can't get a sense of like what Saka's deal is this year. I can't tell if it's an off year. I can't tell if he's managing an injury. I can't tell if he's, again, my cynical instinct is he's engaged and he just got a $300K a week contract. So he's kind of like having an extra pastry and having an extra nap and having an extra hot tub. And
I like the World Cup theory. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going with. I like the World Cup theory.
The Martin Odegaard theory, which is like he doesn't want to do anything to interfere with his ability to start every game for Norway. So he's like, sorry, Gaffer. I'm like, my knee's feeling a little rough. I got a little knock there. I better stay out for another couple weeks. No more protein. I gotta stay light and fit for that hot summer in the US and Mexico. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those matches where I think it was very clear based on the lineup, how it was handled, and the reaction of the club, the coaching staff, and the fan base, that the goal was to just win and do as little as possible to get. So I think I posted as a reply to Sophie online that it feels like we're kind of in this mode with Arsenal right now where we're like a phone in low battery mode, where it's kind of like we're stripping it down to just the essential functions. And our goal seems to be in some of these matches. And I don't know if this can continue forever, but it seems like we are trying to do 5% more than whatever club we're facing to just win by a goal. Or like we did, and we'll talk about this soon in the Champions League, just get the result we needed away to be fine at home. Like, we're doing just enough. And I think that's a dangerous line to walk, but it probably is a line that we have to walk given the fact that we're playing every 3 to 4 days and we're playing in 4 competitions. And we don't have a fully fit and firing squad. So it's really about just, if the other team's going to do 70%, we got to do 75. And if the other team is playing 100%, we got to do just 105 to make sure we get it over the line. And like, I think that it's probably a little bit endemic of how we function as a club anyway, that we don't. And I mean, use the Real Madrid is such a hard thing to do, but like Real Madrid will go full blooded at stuff and like blow out City 3-0. Like, that's a fucking huge result for them. But they'll also do incredibly stupid shit and kneecap themselves because they're going full blooded at everything and then be out of stuff. So I think that we are like kind of a slightly turgid, really pragmatic club that is looking to do just enough to win everything. And probably because we attack it this way, we have concerns about the big stuff, but we also are still in all 4 competitions because that's how we've been managing everything.
I like the analogy of the low battery mode thing, because I was actually looking for the tweet as you spoke, and I can't currently find it, but
yeah,
I saw this brilliant tweet that read something like, let me see, what was our last few games? I got this window. Okay, they said like Arsenal have the incredible ability to make Leverkusen, Mansfield, Brighton, Chelsea, Spurs, Wolves, and like et cetera, all look like the same level of opposition.
Yep.
And we never dominate them, right? And I think somebody pointed this out in the comments in that specific tweet, where like we don't play our game to blow people out. What we do is we match, like you said, we match their level and just like add a plus 5%.
Yeah.
And it's a really, I don't know if it's going to pay dividends at the end. I don't know if other teams are going to create blowout. I know we're in the last few months of the season.
Yeah.
But we have players coming back, which is great. But listen, it's one of those things, and I know that how we play is a topic of discussion all the time.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised of how much that dirty Arsenal and corner thing is going around, because like I'm watching the Champions League game, and when Leverkusen scores, it's like, oh, they gave them a taste of their own medicine, and I'm like, I kind of felt like, fuck you, bro. You too, non-English guy. Like,
yeah,
like, Jesus Christ, dude. We're like, you guys are hammering us because the way we play. But you know what, man? Like, honestly, and I've said this plenty of times, and I think that the most obvious one that I always bring up is Chelsea, their first Champions League. Literally, nobody's give a fuck about if we end up winning the league or the Champions League. Nobody's give a shit. I remember chiming into Twitter right after the game and said, I didn't watch the game. How'd we look? Right. Yeah. One Liverpool fan, in which him and we get along just fine. I don't mind. He talks some things. I retweet things, but he said, and I just said how we play, and he just replied for corners. And I just replied, like, to be completely honest with you, like, beautiful football didn't get us this close to any level of silverware in the last decade of Arsenal. So I think for for that purpose, I don't think you're going to find an Arsenal supporter live that won't defend what we're doing at this point. Is it pretty? No. Is it frustrating for me? It's fucking frustrating because like we saw grass right versus Leverkusen and the horseshoe of death thing that we're seeing, right? So much pass towards to the wings. Nothing is fully central, and it begs the question, right? Why not pass through the middle to the striker that you purchased to tap the ball in?
Yeah,
it's frustrating, but dude, like the results are what they are, man. We're like on game like 40 something of the season, if not 15. They've lost 3, I think, in the entirety of the season. So like, dude, like I want to complain, but there's at least another 98% of fan bases that would probably like to be in the position that Arsenal are right now, and in the position of us as fans of Arsenal.
Arsenal have lost 3 league matches and no cup matches in the entire season.
Yeah, I always like to make the joke every time we add one more cup game that Kepa is considered still the only undefeated player in all of Europe, I believe. He's played about 9 matches for us this season. He's still undefeated. Like he has a Champions League one. We didn't lose that one, and we won all the cup ones.
So some frame of reference to like, it's not fun to watch, but Villa and United are tied for 3rd in points. They have 51. We have 67 points. United have lost 6 times. Villa have lost 8 times. We've lost 3. City have lost 5 times. So I think some space is helpful, and I don't think that this is like one. I think the criticism of Arteta is obviously that he's inherently conservative, and I think that shows in his recruitment and in his playing style. But like, we're really for you, Mike Hers, in the Al Davis West Coast, we just win, baby. Like truly, when you've gone this long with never winning the Champions League and without winning the Premier League, I think like when George Graham was winning leagues, that was a turgid defensive setup, and when we hadn't won titles in a very long time. And sometimes you just lean into what your strengths are, and right, wrong, or indifferent. Like, and maybe my gripe a lot of the times is in our back channel is I feel like we put so much on our back 4 and our goalkeeper. Like David Raya has to claim everything in the box and start counterattacks and distribute. And Saliba and Gabriel have to pass the most of everybody else, and Gabriel has to score on corners, and then Urian Timber has to play in the right half space, and he's not an attacking player, and he's fucking making 60-yard gutbuster center forward runs at the end of matches to try to win and everything. So like, so much is put on our back 4 and our 2 central midfielders who look like they're dead on their feet now, and then our sprightly attack like front 3 can just duck around like fucking idiots and not do anything and get paid tons of money and not have any accountability to do anything ever. And I think that my suspicion is that they know that the quality and form is in our back 5 plus our 2 central midfielders. And the goal is literally just to try to win as many matches as possible. And if we do that, we are likely to win by just gutting it out in our kind of like control defensive tactics. If you want my honest, again, two drinks in, my 2 rise in, it's the goal is to go, okay, we're trying to win 2 of the 4. And we don't really give a fuck which one they are, but we think that by playing this way and by leaning into our strengths and by riding our the horses until the shoes fall off, we are going to win 2 of the 4. We're going to win 2 of the Champions League, Premier League, League Cup, and FA Cup. If we do, that's a smashing success. And we go again next year, and we're going to send some of these guys like Gabriel Jesus out to the fucking moon, and we're going to buy some one-on-one difference makers in the attack. That's what I think. And I don't know if that's cope. People would tell me that's probably cope.
I like that.
But I think that they go, playing this way limits our floor significantly. Our floor is top 2 to 3 and in the finals of these cup competitions and Champions League. And we're cool with that. And now it's about having Saka not shit his pants and not having Gabriel Martinelli be an asshole. And if you can replace, either move Saka inside or have him healthy and whatever, and have not an asshole playing left wing, or not a grandpa playing left wing that has more white hair than I do at 40. Like, it's probably going to take care of itself. Like these are unflattering patterns, but they raise the floor to such a huge degree that it's not worth the trade-off of playing this. Like, because Mike, I remember Mike Hope when we first started this podcast, I tweeted, and you can probably find it buried somewhere, about how Arsenal don't win anything. I was like, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Kind of related to like Conte winning. And it's like, no, I don't believe that anymore.
Sure.
Yeah, that was Cope. Like, I don't believe that. I would rather live playing this turgid, detestable style, which again is overblown because we've scored a lot of goals, but like playing a boring control style, I'd much rather win shit. Much rather, like, we've watched Arsene, we watched all that beautiful football. Like, for all the Olivier Giroud scorpion kicks, there was the Olivier Giroud celebrating the equalizer at Palace to not embarrass yourself, or the Olivier Giroud not trying to heel flick shit and losing to Monaco. Like, I'm done with that. We've done that experience. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
it was exciting.
Shit football and win. Like, let's do that.
It was exciting 90 minutes, but the end always sucked. So it's not something I want to sign up for again. But
no.
Yeah, so the recycling of possession, I agree. You know what's funny is I always say that our team plays to they don't play to attack so as much as they play to not lose the ball.
Yeah.
And because guess what? If we have the ball, they can't score versus us. And I think that's why they feel so comfortable playing with that back line.
Yeah.
I do find it, though, I assume there's some height. I always say that, like, Arteta is like a basketball player or a basketball coach where he loves playing the percentages.
Yeah.
Like, let him shoot from this distance because statistically speaking, if he's not fucking Stephen Curry, he's not going to make that bucket, right?
Yeah.
But I wonder, like, what's the percentage of that much ball retention in the back four? And it's funny. I was actually just talking to this about a coworker of mine, of somebody that doesn't really watch football, but we were comparing modern sports as a whole versus old sports. And it was like, it's kind of funny. We're like, you hear about these great defenses in the back, and like all they did was fucking hoof the ball forward.
Yeah.
That was their defense, right? They were really good at getting the ball back, intercepting, and just hoofing the fucking ball forward.
Getting away from your goal.
Getting away from your goal, right? And now if you see that, you're like, what the fuck? Do you play for Stoke or something? Like, you don't do that. You're supposed to play a beautiful, intricate pass.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, goalkeeper that, like, we used to be afraid to give you the ball. Hey, I need you to start a play. We need you to start up the build-up. Yeah. So it's changed so much, but like,
right, we expect you to do a seeing eye line-breaking pass here.
Exactly.
People are running at you.
And generally, I just wonder, like, I'm sure statistically, like, there, and maybe that's why we get punished. Like, we fool around so much in the back that when, like, we do give the ball away, most of the time we're exposed because, like, Zubimendi, Declan are up in the field, and it's just like our back four kicking the ball around while Timber is sprinting forward like a madman.
With some frame of reference to what the funny thing is that we don't concede. Like, it feels like we concede a lot of goals. Part of the reason why we don't concede a lot of goals is that we have, like, outstanding possession and, like, movement out of there. Mm-hmm. But when we fuck it up, it really fucks up and looks stupid. But for some frame of reference, we've allowed 22 goals this year. City have allowed 27, and the next closest is Everton at 33 for conceded. So it's like us and City by a mile are like the have conceded the least. And for goals for, we're tied with City at top. Like, Villa have scored 39 goals this year. Like, Villa has a reputation of being like a free swing and free flowing team, right? We scored 59 goals. They've scored 39. We scored 20 more goals than Villa have this year.
No, we recently became we're only one of three teams in Europe that scored over 100 goals, right? If I'm not mistaken.
We scored 100 goals in all comps, I think.
It's Arsenal, Bayern Munich, and maybe City. I can't remember the other team.
Especially too, because, like, and for some frame of reference too, like, the entire Bundesliga sucks. Like, I watch less Bundesliga now because I have too many kids and I don't have the time, as Mike can sympathize, right?
Yes.
The entire Bundesliga sucks. The entire Bundesliga is like, again, I think Dortmund is still, like, vaguely second. Dortmund are basically fucking Brentford. Like, you would have to go down to, like, 7th or 8th in the Premier League table to approximate that. In truly, Bayern are a top 3 Premier League team, easily, probably top 2. And so it's just like if we just took if Arsenal removed Manchester City, Manchester United, Aston Villa, Chelsea, and Liverpool, and then just played Brentford and down, and then the top 5 teams in the championship, that's what the Bundesliga is. If you want some, and guess what would happen if that happened? Arsenal would be winning the league by 15 points, like Bayern do every year.
Now, I saw on Twitter somebody said that that Arsenal and City would be struggling in La Liga. And I thought,
God, that fucking yeah.
As you try to take a sip, Gunnar Works points out that it's us, Bayern Munich, and Barcelona.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny because like we're so much painted as like anti-football, and we have more goals than City. We have more goals than everybody looks at PSG as lethal. They haven't hit 100. Madrid hasn't hit 100. And I honestly thought it might have been Inter Milan because Inter Milan is I want to say Inter Milan has lost 1, if not 2 games this whole Serie A season.
Yeah.
And I believe both matches were lost versus Milan.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that could be. Quote me. Looking it up. Oh, literally 1 loss. 5 losses. I'm so sorry. I got that horribly wrong. I must be thinking about it.
But that's second in the Premier League. Is City have lost 5 times too. That's pretty typical for a top 2 or 3 team.
Yeah, just interesting. Just like I said, I'm getting used to the dynamic, but ultimately, dude, the Champions League draw. I understand it wasn't glorious. $1 million question here for you. Was it a penalty for you, Kelly? I mean,
God, yeah. So getting into the Champions League thing, like, first of all, we haven't done ref watch in a while. This official apparently is a Turkish domestic league official, which again, if we know anything about Turkey's domestic league, it's a fucking clown show all the time. I genuinely wish that we are able to stream Turkish football. It's really fun because it's stupid and ridiculous and like very, very goofy.
NFL of European football.
Oh my God, yeah. It's just a complete shit show the whole time. So it'd be super fun for me as a neutral to watch like washed up Premier League players play for all these clubs and just get in all this argy-bargy and all this nonsense all the time. But it's a Turkish first league official. It's not. He's reffed a lot in the Champions League previously. But it's his first Champions League match, and they gave him a knockout match against the number 1 seed, which is pretty wild. I mean, by any objective metric, Robert Andrich should have been sent off for 2 yellows in the first 4.5 minutes. Like, it was a clear as day, deliberate rugby tackle of Gyökeres, and then the ball was played through to space, and he just shoulder blocked him right in the middle of the chest deliberately. So it should have been sent off. He wasn't. There was also all sorts of insane shit where the same tackles were happening. It was not a foul or was a yellow card. Like Zubamendi got one of the most ridiculous yellow cards you'll ever see for winning the ball. And then their player like ran into him in the fall, not even a follow through, but like ran into him after the ball was taken. And Zubamendi got a yellow card. At the end of this match, Kai Havertz got a yellow apparently for standing there while he was being grabbed on the corner.
Literally, that was such an odd yellow. Like he had his back towards the player too. Like the defender had full bear hug, and he got a yellow for it. I like the
literally standing there.
That the player didn't even dive or anything. He was just held on. Nothing happened. It was a nothing happened. Nobody asked for anything, and the ref was like, you know what? Nah, card.
But that's what happens. I think in other competitions, like the Premier League, the PGMOL is a disaster. But like, I think that there's a less obvious and explicit desire to get involved and change the course of matches than there is for a lot of top division officials in other leagues. Like they will do stuff to do stuff and be part of the story deliberately. And this guy got to the last 10 minutes of the match and was like, I am going to make an impact here. This has been a pretty slow match. I'm going to get involved here. And so Nani picked an absolutely electric time to go and run at people. Like, it's like, that ref is like sitting there just going, it's like, oh, motherfucker, anybody does anything with their cleats, it's going to be a red card. If anybody touches anybody in the box, it's going to be a penalty. Like, let's fucking go. Like, LFG, baby. Like, we're going to roll. And it was a soft penalty. It was a penalty that once you call it, you can't overturn it. This is Malik Tillman too. Like is an American player. He was brought on. He's an attacking interior, kind of wide midfielder. He should not have been on in that situation. I don't know why you bring Malik Tillman on because he's an attacking midfielder when you're trying to save a 1-0. And this is a lot of like, I get it if you call that not a penalty because it's minimal contact, but like he did a slide tackle from behind, didn't get the ball, and went over Nani's foot and pinched Nani's foot. And Madueke did what any intelligent attacker does, is like, when there's contact in the box from behind, go over. Because the point of this is not to make, for example, somebody I grapple with a lot because he's Scandinavian and is on Erling Haaland's ball sack. Like, is what the fuck is it? Lars Sivertsen is a guy who does a lot of stuff for a lot of different podcasts. And he's kind of the typical smug Scandinavian sarcastic person. Is like, oh, we got to break out the ambulance for Nani there. It's like, I can't even. It's like, listen, motherfucker. Like, you did an autobiography of a 22-year-old, or a biography of a 22-year-old Erling Haaland. So, like, I don't want to hear you say shit about fuck about this. But like, it's like, dude, it was the last 2 minutes of the match. You had somebody idiotically dive in from behind and hit him when he's going and cutting inside in the box. What are you going to do? Like, your quarrel is not with Nana Madueke going over. Your complaint is with the rules of the match and how an official interprets that. Like, if Nani doesn't go over there when he gets his ankle clipped and gets his foot pinched for a half a second from behind when they don't get the ball, and he tries to shoot that and misses, everybody's going like, holy shit, dude, go over when you're fouled in the box. Like, what are you doing?
Somebody pointed that out. I saw the constant debate, and like, even, two people right now, like, we're at Guna's work, he's saying it's a pen. It's a UEFA Champions League pen, not a pen in the English Premier League. I like that perspective. Yeah, because they manage games very different. Sakala Boom Boom says, not a pen, but I'm glad we cut scammed the way out of it. One thing that I saw on the Twitters, and I understand this, and you alluded to it, Kelly.
Yeah.
Nani doesn't owe anybody to fucking stay on his feet.
No.
Like, how much, again, and we're talking about like past criticism towards how we're viewed out now.
Yeah.
Look, we gain fuck off for being the honorable team that stays on his feet, because I think we had an opportunity where, like, long times ago, and us Arsenal supporters are
our
like
scars.
Our scars. Yeah, we're like elephants, right? We remember everything. Like, I remember, like, they were dragging the holy fuck down of like Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
And he asked, like, why didn't you give me a pen? And they're like, well, you didn't go down. You didn't give me a decision to make. Yeah. Right. And then when he goes down, it's like, oh my God, fucking dive.
First,
like,
they tell you that you don't deserve it if you don't go down.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, we didn't play the game. Like, why would you? If you don't go down, why would you? You didn't earn one.
Like I said, like you said a little bit earlier, this may maybe cope, but I'm fully embracing. I'm fully embracing everything. I'm gonna say, I speak for myself, not for the grandeur of all Arsenal supporters, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with our player being savvy and not taking the high road and minimizing his opportunity to create a penalty, which is an outstanding, statistically speaking, an outstanding
8 out of 10 chance of a goal. Like, I'm here to tell you too, like, 100% when they got in that locker room, they pulled Nani over and said, perfect. That's exactly what you do. You go there and show initiative. And again, everything you criticize for Arsenal forces, the horseshoe fasting and being passive, how he got that penalty? He scared the fucking shit out of him. He took a touch and he knocked it around 3 players and sprinted. And Malik Tillman was fucking terrified in that moment. And it made him make a bad decision because Nani went what nobody else did for Arsenal for the majority of that match, which is put the opponent in a stressful situation, knowing they're up 1 goal and it's imperative that they keep this lead. We cannot let this guy run from sideline and get into the box and get a good shot. I have to intervene. And that happens when you're big and strong and fast and you sprint at somebody. And he absolutely made them shit themselves for half a second and they made a mistake. And he punished that mistake to the nth by being intelligent. Like, that's what you do. And again, the quarrel is not with Nani. The issue is not with Arsenal. The issue, if you have a concern with that, you need to start talking about how penalties are awarded on the continent. And that's it. That was not an English ref. That was not an English match. Like, that is I fully agree, Mike. I think that's probably overturned. Even if it was called on the pitch, I think that's probably overturned in the Premier League. But that's what you do. That you put the opponent under stress, make them make a bad decision, and make the ref make a decision. And once his foot is pinned and turned sideways, even if it's for half a second, that's a foul anywhere else on the pitch, and that's going to be a penalty. And it goes to Havertz, and again, probably crossed over in this. Like, good on Havertz for putting that away. Because when we were, like, in our back channel, I know it wasn't live, but, like, we were saying, like, who the fuck's taking this penalty? Like, we're looking around, it's like, okay, Gabriel Jesus is holding the ball, but you pry it out of his hands. I would want anybody besides Gabriel Jesus to take that penalty. But obviously he was holding it just to give it to Kai because it was probably on the depth chart or whatever. It's like, I didn't know who was going to take it. Saka wasn't there. Odegaard wasn't there. Gyökeres, who had been probably the first taker, was out. Like, it's like, oh shit, we're like 4 or 5 guys down the chain. Who's going to take this penalty? And Kai, even when the keeper guesses right, he buries it and he couldn't get to it, even when he guessed the right way. And so it's like, there you go. Like, there's honors even. And like, we ended up finishing, I think, this match with like a 1.8 XG to like a 0.8. But I mean, 0.8 of that came from the penalty at the end. So we were a little bit ahead on expected goals. And then once that happened, it was pretty clear that we were in the lead with that. So, I mean, it's a bad performance and a passable result, I guess.
I like, yeah, bad. That brilliantly summed up. Bad performance, passable result. I will say, just because we kind of spoke a little bit about how passive we were. We spoke a little bit about how non-potent and informed our strikers are. And we're kind of like accepting it now, right? And we finished up the game with like 1.83, I think you said.
Yeah.
I do find this fascinating that we had 7 shots, 3 in target, created 1.83. I have to say, dude, it's like I found this XG thing fascinating in the sense that, like, look what good strikers do for you.
Yeah.
PSG versus Chelsea.
I love this so much.
0.87 XG for PSG, scores 5 goals. I just find that, like, I mean, look, all I'm saying is it wouldn't fucking hurt to have somebody that really like knocks the ball in at a really fast rate. Your famous tactic here, have a really good goalkeeper and a really good we have goalkeeper. Dude, David Raya, I've seen a few highlights.
Yeah,
I almost forgot how clutch he's been for us this season.
He had a spectacular save before they scored. Immediately before they scored, he had an unbelievable tip onto the bar that should have been a goal before Andrich scores that. Like, it was another Raya game too, where it's like there was a huge save made. He made it, and then we just didn't deal with the ensuing corner. Which, again, also, if we want to go and bring stuff up, Eze was absolutely wrapped up with both arms and taken down and picked. It wasn't just picked; he was grabbed and pulled down. But nobody complains about that at all.
I like, again, Kelly, we've been matching each other's energy this whole time.
It's probably not healthy for our podcast, by the way.
We chose to be positive and not drive Chris crazy when he's not on the podcast. But if Chris was here, we would be just as miserable assholes. We're like, doom, sell Noni already or something. Noni, who has been, by the way, fairly good. Like, for the limited amount of times he's been able to play, and I don't know if it's fitness or what, but every time he comes in, dude, he's very active. He's very active, and I appreciate his approach to the game. Yeah, and fair play to Mikel Arteta for subbing him in. Like you said, literally, I'm pretty sure when you said, like, hey, they probably pulled him aside and said good job. I'm pretty sure they said just grab the ball, just run into the box. Yeah, make them make a choice, and I think that's how that ended up playing out. Yeah,
because it does behoove us to, like, I have been pretty vocal about how disappointed I've been with Saka, and I think it's irritated some people, but, like, he has not been good this season. And, like, my cynical cope is that, like, well, he's got his fiance and he's got his $350K a week now. Is like, he's good. Like, we're cool now. Now it's just about staying healthy for England. But this was if we're looking at this one, this is maybe the worst Saka match I saw. Not because of just him not coming off. It's just lazy and bad. Like, this is very much like a Gervinho match from Saka, which is really not good. Especially, like, wearing the armband. Like, I think I heard on other podcasts, it was maybe on our blog, that I think he gave the away possession like 16 times. He was like 2 of 10 or 2 of 8 or 9 or something on his duels. Like, he was fucking terrible. And all they had to, like, for a while, they were doubling him up, and then they just had Gramando on him, and just Gramando would just step to his inside, right, to his left foot, take 2 giant steps, and just say, okay, cool, do something. And he couldn't do anything. And, like, he wasn't getting any relief from the ref, and I don't even think they were dealing with him. He was just a fucking disaster the entire match, and everything that, like, all of your concerns about Saka, whether it's like he he lost some pop because of injury, or he doesn't have the ambition, or he's not fit, or what he's run out of ideas and he's not being balanced. Like, whatever it was, first of all, I give Arteta tons of credit of just being like, I don't care if you have the captain's armband, I don't care if you sign the contract, you've been shit. Like, get the fuck off the pitch, like get out at 60 minutes. And the first two things that Nani did in the first 90 seconds he was on the pitch, he did a 50-yard recovery sprint to make a defensive intervention, and he sprinted at their fullback Ramondo and went, oh shit, and got us a corner immediately. And I think I said in our back channel too, it's like, he has just done more in like 3 minutes than Saka's done the entire match. And it's not because I don't like Saka. It's because he was direct and had energy and pace. And the reason why Nani is here, he's very, very little end product. His job, in the same way that who's the kid from Bilbao that we tried to buy like for the last 3 years that can't score any goals too on the left side?
Williams.
Yeah, Nico Williams. That's exactly what Nico Williams would have been there for. It's like, your job is to go and sprint at people and make them uncomfortable. That's your goal. And if you can shoot. If you can cross. Like, we don't even really give a fuck, but you need to go and sprint at these motherfuckers and make them uncomfortable. They cannot sit there. And we have too many players who just will either knock the ball back and forth and slowly go to the end line and lump in a contested cross, or go inside to their dominant foot and take a bad shot that gets blocked. We have 5 guys who do that. You need to be the person who, again, like, does the big Dick Nani thing and just knocks it around 3 people and sprints and goes, like, you know what, you can't run with me. It's fine. Like, I'll just do this insane feat of hubris, and you have to either tackle me or think that I'm not going to score. And like, again, I think for almost the entirety of his Arsenal career, my sense was that if Saka was performing poorly, we probably couldn't overcome that issue, his specific performance and output issue. And we're still in 4 competitions, and he's been the worst he's been since he was a left wing back here, and he was number 77. And he's been bad the entire year. And again, I don't know if it's fitness, I don't know if it's fatigue, I don't know if it's overplaying. He needs to be inside. Like, I don't care, but Nani's a better right winger right now than Saka is, and I think we should probably start making the rotations accordingly until he can show that he can do something.
Yeah, no, fuck, you kind of think about a player in the stature of Saka and say super sub is like beneath him.
Yeah,
but maybe that's what he needs. Just like give him the opportunity to be a little bit more impactful versus tired legs.
Or play him at number 10. Or play him at number 10 inside when he doesn't have to run. And he can. Yeah. We've seen flashes of that, and he has really good technical quality. He doesn't have to run as much. I think Nani is there to run and sprint. And I don't. Again, if it's fitness, I hope it's fitness. I hope it's one of those things where he's managing injury, and after the World Cup, he needs to be on an ice pack for 2 months, and he needs to slow play the start of the season, and he'll be okay. But it's super concerning because he has no burst at all, and he is really easy to take off the ball now. And Nani is maybe a top 25 right winger in the world, and it was staggering, the difference in output and threat. And if Saka's not going to, again, the big thing with Saka too is you go, okay, well, he has the output. He doesn't anymore. And if he's not going to shoot on goal, and he's not going to create shots for other people, it's going to die at his feet, like Gervinho. like
you have a knack for choosing what's the worst fucking player in that position in Arsenal's recent career, like that. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking bring up Jordan. See, this is why nobody is prepared to debate this with Saka, because you come at me and say Gervinho. I look, man, I've been vocal about Saka's performances as well, and it's funny. Depends on your bandwidth and how much you're willing to accept the season that he's having. Some people, injury recovery. Some people say fatigue. Been running too much, and all this. Yeah. You could come up with 101 reasons, but where I solidified my point of view in which he was having a bad season is I saw a tweet with what I refer to as bottom of the barrel stats. Mm-hmm. And it was something like he's number 1 or like number 2 for shot assist. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? That mean, like, did he passed the ball to somebody and that person took a shot? Like, was it It like we regressed from. We're no longer judging him from an assist, but now we're judging him based on the fact that he passed the ball to somebody who made a shot. And when you start, it's kind of like the Ozil pre-assist vibes that I'm getting.
Yeah.
We're like, no, you don't get to be Ozil and be praised for pre-assist.
Yeah, for XG chain stuff, which is just like an esoteric stat.
When I started seeing that float around, I'm like, okay, this to me feels like he's having such a bad season in which people are now trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel to be like, okay, what stat is in the green? And we're going to say he's number one in the league on this. And I'm like, okay, that's charming and that's adorable.
Yeah.
However, that just sweet fuck all to our actual goal tally.
Here's what I would say too. Remember that here's one thing that has remained really well, and I will give him credit for that. He's an exquisite set piece taker and corner taker. A lot of the chances he's creating are off of corners. And those are valuable. Like, so I'm not going to be whatever fucking talk sport goofball that says, oh, corners don't count. Like, corners obviously count. And him being excellent at putting the ball where it needs to be on our set piece routines is great. But, like, I think it also underscores how poor he's been from open play. And again, there was no other option besides to sign Saka. Right. And he has historically been our best player and he's the identity of Arsenal, but I'm willing to give him an off season here. But I think that it's concerning to me. And I don't think that my kind of prevailing opinion here is not that Nani was brought in purely to spell Saka at 50 million. I think that there is maybe a future plan or an acknowledgement that Saka doesn't have the legs or the stamina, or he can't play out wide all the time anymore. And maybe the lack of anybody else besides Odegaard, who plays more of a withdrawn attacking mid, like more of an 8 role. And we have 110 in Eze. Like, maybe the plan is to shift him inside more frequently so that he can use his technical quality and physicality, but is not forced to beat a guy, because he doesn't really do that very much anymore. And obviously, again, like it's a one-off, but I don't think it's been a one-off for the last several months. It's like Saka's not somebody you go to beat a man. He gets a lot of ISOs, but unless he fundamentally changes how he does it, it's just not going to work. Like, that cut inside and banger shot outside the 18 doesn't happen ever anymore. People are getting in front of them. People are taking the ball off him before he can do it, and they can't stick with Nani. Like, they can't do it. It's not possible. Like, he's too fast. He's too leggy. He's too deceptive to do that. And I think the desire from all of the recruitment and all the rumors is that, like, we're basically looking for Nani on the left.
No, yeah. We'll see. Who were we linked again? We were linked this.
The big one is Kvaratskhelia, which is not going to happen.
3 Newcastle players: Livermento, Gordon, and Tonali. Which, Bappity Boopy, bring me some fucking Tonali.
Mike will never buy a name kit quicker than if Tonali comes to Arsenal, by the way.
Fuck yes, bro. Absolutely.
They'll you've never seen hers move that fast, then his hands will move to the mouse to buy the Tonali number.
You want to get me out of a black t-shirt? Give me a fucking Tonali Arsenal jersey right now, okay?
So some background, Tonali was like an academy star for. May not know he was at Pescara, I think, before. Or somebody before, but he was he broke through at Milan. He became a big star in Italy for Milan, so that's why.
Yeah, he's a childhood hero is Gattuso, one of my favorite players historically.
Which I love Gattuso too, so I can get behind you here.
Gave him the 8. Absolutely loved it, and of course, unfortunately, literally the Milan board forced him out because the 40 million was too good to pass up by. I
wish we could retcon that and go back in time and swoop in and give him 40 million plus 1. Do the Arsene Luis Suarez thing. I'll give you 40 million and 1.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just tying up on the Saka thing. This is a perspective that a lot of people share, so I don't want to dismiss it either. And it says, referring to the Saka forum and conversation that we're having, Kelly.
Yeah.
Saka like a boom boom. Hey, that said, your name has Saka involved, so you might be a little skewed. But I'm gonna benefit of the doubt here, bro. Yeah. It's fine, even though he hasn't been at his best form. He has to start the Champions League. It's the Champions League semifinal. quarterfinal, I think it means, or last 16. You start with your big guns always. Some him in 60 if needed, but he starts, in my opinion. There is that whole.
That's probably the most sensible take.
Yeah, he demands enough respect to be on the board in which you're like the opposition still look at him and say, "For fuck's sake, I'm playing versus Saka today."
Yeah.
So that is, I can't fully dismiss that because I do think there's a mental edge to it. So I fully understand that.
I think too, probably Nani coming in against tired legs is probably more impactful. My hope would be that even if Saka's not feeling his best, not in the best form, he can offer the type of set piece delivery and ball retention that's insanely valuable no matter what his explosiveness is, right? But I think here's my hope too, and again, my hope / cope is that the pitchforks are not ever going to be out for Saka, really, but there's enough negative vibes that he's vaguely aware of, like, okay, like I need to pick my shit up here for the next couple months and be the player that I should be, and maybe I've lost my edge a little bit, and be motivated to be like, he should be really, if anybody is saying Nani Madueke should be starting above him, that should really piss him off. Right? Like they're about the same age.
Yeah.
They're in the England setup. Like Saka has been a nailed on starter for club and country for basically 4 years, his entire professional career. And Nani played for the PSV Academy and is like kind of a dilettante and is known as a kind of a talented but uninspiring player at the very top table. And I think that should make him mad and make him motivated that there's real momentum and reason out there for Nani be taking a shirt. And the hope is, and kind of all the stuff you hear now from like the Invincibles and all those guys, so it's like having Bergkamp being there made me better. Like having these players, these great players competing for me for my place made me better. Like having Parler there made me better. Like having all these guys that were not first team players, like you hope that ratchets up the intensity so these stars take it to the next level, right? That's the hope anyway. But I don't know. It's gonna be hers. It's gonna be so fucking interesting because I could just as easily see us missing all of it as getting 3 of the 4.
I never been in a position as an Arsenal. Well, we have. Yeah. Have we ever been in a quadruple position in this?
No,
this
no,
phase? I literally can't remember. My memory is shot. Historically, like Arsene Wenger did. I mean, League Cup was never valuable, and I do think that the League Cup kind of turned around a little bit more, where like it's no longer exclusively play the kids.
Yeah,
like it's slowly but surely. I don't know if it's gaining prestige, but more teams are more willing to play a stronger starting 11. Like gone are the days of starting 11 of like under 20s. I will say that, but
I think you get your best shot from the non Arsenal, City, United, Chelsea. I think they see it as one of the only viable routes to a trophy, and so you get your best shot from clubs 5 through 10. Which now with how much money is in the Premier League is a pretty fucking big haymaker. Like they have some They have some. Liverpool is 6th in the Premier League right now, and they just spent fucking $350 million on like 3 attackers.
It's fucking insane,
right? Like Crystal Palace just in January just spent $50 million on a striker. It was the same price as Gyökeres was for us, basically. Like there is so much money in the Premier League. Like Leeds have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who is like the heir apparent like 2 seasons ago for the England number 9. Like
it's insane. They have a spoils of
Gibbs White is fighting relegation. Like Jared Bowen
he's one of those players that like I'll never not like him. Gomez is another great player, absolutely.
Again, literally, we're looking at West Ham. Like literally, Jared Bowen could start for a top 4 club, and he's in the drop right now. Like there's so much talent and so much expensive. There's so many 100K plus per week players that are 50 million pound players that are in the bottom 6. It's fucking crazy.
One thing I want to wrap up this particular game before we kind of talk about the opposition and their results for like very briefly, because Chris is in the live chat and
not talking to us right now, Christian.
He's not talking to us right now, but he's in the live chat. But like if we have Chris in the live chat, we have to talk slightly about
he's keeping us
how Spurs valiantly managed to draw in the second half. We have to talk about that. We have to talk about the 3 months ago your English Premier League contenders getting smashed by PSG. We got to talk about all of this, of course, just briefly, just to sum it up. And again, I do think that it helps put our 1-1 into context a little bit. Mm-hmm. We were talking about the margin and everything. I will say that. So Mikel Arteta was asked about the game. He said he could have put it away a little bit sooner, and he made reference like Martinelli had an opportunity. Now I will say this: like a lot of people, and Mikel Arteta is always open for debate because there's people that don't like him out flat out. There's people that like him but having their doubts. Like our good friend Abreu, who's in the live chat, who is like super positive. This is probably the most negative he's been all season, where he's like literally worried that one bad performance in the Champions League or the League Cup might snowball and derail it. And that's the fucked up thing about being in this position. It's bittersweet, where you're like, the reality is you're gonna put yourself that within a span of a month, you also lose fucking everything. And so you kind of have to grab that from reality. But Mikel Arteta just mentioned like, hey, Martinelli had an opportunity. Yeah. And this is like a very low XG shot, and he hit the crossbar. And I feel like a lot of people turned it into, oh my God, he's openly criticizing him.
Yeah.
For me personally, within the context of the shot and the context of, and like how he said it, I don't think this was an open attack on a player. No, this is my perspective. I can't remember. I feel like he's flirted with the idea of criticizing a player. Yeah. But he's never like outright like, oh, fuck, if he put it away, it was never like communicated like he missed a clear chance. Oh my God. And I think we're doing that thing where we're reading really deep into things, just like projecting almost.
It was more just saying like, hey, we had a great opportunity. It didn't go for us. And if that goes in, it totally changes it.
Small margins. He preaches this literally every press conference.
He's created a £1 billion football club that identifies itself by attacking the margins. Like, this is just part of the deal. And like, again, the reason you don't get sucker, to loop it in, and I'll do it quick, just 10 seconds on this. He created a club with a really, really high floor. And the reason why we don't get blown out ever, like, was it the last time we gave up 3 goals in a match was like 2023?
It knows it.
Four goals in a match.
Up until United. Well, the United one was the 3-1. The
3-2 or whatever the fuck. Like, yeah, he's created a situation that keeps it tight, and the trade-off is that you have margins that make you sweat it out, but also the flip side is you never get turned over ever, because you just don't play in a way that you can get exposed in that way. Even if everything goes wrong, it still keeps a cap on how far away, and you are still within touching distance always. And so, like, I mean, there's like for Real Madrid will sometimes beat City 3-0, and sometimes they'll fucking get paddled by some shit club in there because they don't play with any control. They just YOLO every fucking match and just their talent is gonna win, and it doesn't always happen that way.
I'm like fascinated how they operate, man, because like, what is it? 2 weeks ago they lost versus Getafe at home.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like
they're all over the place, dude.
It's like going in the bar with your fucking pants down. Like, if you're really handsome, a lot of times it works out for you. Like, you still pick up a girl, but like every now and then somebody kicks you in the balls so hard that you fucking go to the hospital. It just depends on how they're going to react, right? Because you don't want to play with your pants. You want to have your pants on when you play. Like,
yeah. No, it's an odd one to say the very least.
Sure.
Before we move on to our rivals, in order to entertain whoever 312 Gunner 5 is. He did have a question that says, if you had to gamble serious money, how many trophies would you bet we end up with at the end of the season? I think you kind of alluded to it, but I think we're going to do some type of double.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is though.
Yeah, me either. But you know what I do think is, I do think if it's the FA Cup and the League Cup, it's yes, it's a double, but it's also kind of like
the softest double ever, the most disappointing double ever.
Yeah, it's
my prediction.
I made the team, but I was picked last out of
Yeah. It's like I got my varsity letter, but I never played any matches. Like
exactly.
You want my honest opinion, and this is gonna fucking kill me saying this. We're gonna win the League Cup and the Premier League. That's what I think. I think we're gonna lose, and we're gonna bounce out the FA Cup, and we're gonna lose in the Champions League final or semifinal. That's what I think.
Man,
I don't think we can. I don't think we can beat. I don't think we can beat Bayern anymore. I think they're too fresh.
Bodo Glimp is in rare form too, so you better watch yourself. My hot take for the because of fatigue catching up to us.
Yeah,
I live in a world in which I'm actually thinking Newcastle's going to knock out Barcelona.
I don't think that's people are acting like that's done. It's absolutely not done. Like Barca.
Oh, it's not done. I'm just saying I could see it happen. That's all.
My God, no, 100%. I could absolutely see Newcastle chinning them 2-0 at
the wager 2, but I think we are more likely to win 1 than 3. Unfortunately,
I think that's correct.
That's solid. Gonna work. Even though this question was a bit about opinions, you know what? You're right. You had the right opinion. That's what you had right now, sir.
I think the hope would be the floor. The hope is that the floor is one of them. That we get one of them. We get a trophy. And I think it's next impossible to win 4 because it just logistically in this day and age with how hard the Premier League is and how difficult English matches are, it's just you don't have everything would have to go absolutely perfectly, or you'd have to have the best player in the world and the best, basically like Dembele last year, like the Ballon d'Or winner in once in a career 6-month or 5-month form. And I don't think we have anybody with that ceiling anyway in our current club. We just don't have that player. And we certainly don't have any of those players in attacking, impact-making positions to be able to be capable of that anyway. So I think that there's a commons. How we play means that the odds of us winning 2 of these are probably more than winning none. But it also means the odds of winning 4 are almost 0. And that seems like the most like drunk, convoluted sentence ever. But I think I can defend it tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm writing it down on a whiteboard. I'm trying to keep track of everything. How you trick?
What I say? It's more likely that we win 2 than 0, but it's more likely that we win 0 than we win 4.
Yes.
Okay. Does that make sense? Chat, help me out. There's a fair few of you in there. Does that make sense to everybody?
Fair enough. Listen, Manchester United lost 3-0 in the Bernabeu, and that tie. Probably over. I think they're going to come and play disgusting and horrible football because the benefit that Alvaro Arbeloa has. Yeah. I used to watch him play in Madrid. That's why I was surprised I forgot his first name. Alvaro Arbeloa. The benefit that he has because he's not like a world-class he's like interim. Yeah. So if he wants to go and play the most disgusting football at the Etihad, nobody's gonna say shit about him.
No,
like literally nobody's gonna fucking say anything. So but 3-0. By the way, every single fucking time I see Valverde play, I'm reminded of how fucking good he is. And this is not just
an unbelievable footballer.
Yeah, and this is not just because he scored a hat trick for the first time in his career. That's awesome. I'm just saying the versatility of he's played 10, he's played in the wings, he's played in the defense. He's played borderline everywhere but goalkeeper. He's such a good fucking player.
In the same way that I appreciate of course I'm going to blank out now. At Atleti, he just scored against Tottenham. Marcos Llorente. Yeah, who literally can play. He literally can play every position besides goalkeeper, and at a Champions League level, that's Fede Valverde. Like he can play winger, he can play central mid. Like you can put him in central defense. Like you probably put him in false 9 and be fine. Like that dude is a fucking monster, and I really hope that we start rating South American. I think we've already started rating South American clubs to find the next guy because that's what Real Madrid did with him. They took a punt on a guy from the Uruguayan domestic league that had to like a rocket up his ass. And that motherfucker, that volley goal is absurd. The balls to take that and to take it like that. it's and here's what I will say even further than that. That kind of goal can only be made in South America. Players like that, that's the only place in the world that creates players that will do that. It's Brazil, it's Argentina, it's Uruguay, it's Colombia. Like those players, the United States can't produce those players.
We don't do XG shots like that.
No,
that's not what we do.
England can't produce those players. Like even like Norway in their greatest generation ever can't. Like Erling Haaland could not do that. He can score a lot of other goals that Fede can, but like
a shitload of those goals, yes.
But like only South American football can produce that goal.
It's pretty astonishing. It reminds me of like the shit Marcelo used to do when he was a left back.
Yeah, like so what are you gonna do? Like that continent produces that kind of player and that kind of goal. There's nowhere else in the world that can do that.
Oh shit! Before I forget, just because you said that continent, I refer to Turkey as a European country, and I was like, wait a minute, dumbass, they're Asia, right? And
you're being harsh on yourself, man. They do.
No, hold this. I was today years old when I learned this, right? And it says they're a transitional country and they're 3% in Europe. I didn't even know that shit was a fucking option, bro.
European.
If
you're 3%, you're 100%, baby.
I am. I mean, you are in. That's all I'm saying. I was today years old when I understood that transitional is something that existed. By the way, I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing too. Like I couldn't live further away from any coast. Like literally in the middle of North America.
I haven't seen an ocean in a decade.
To be expected to understand what you're even talking about, I think is a cultural achievement for me to understand what you're even saying right now.
Fair enough. I think okay. So that one, okay. Just for fucks and giggles here, for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Dead or alive? City versus Real Madrid.
Dead.
Okay. Now moving on.
I think they got bigger fish to fry. I think in the domestic cups and in the league too.
Yeah, and I think that's the most difficult ones. The other ones are slam dunks in my opinion, because I mean I don't foresee visiting or not Chelsea having the capability of putting 3 past a PSG and PSG not responding to that. And then everybody's favorite game of this entirety of the fucking Champions League was the Bayern Munich game, which gave some laughable fucking moments because expression is so good at.
Oh my god, Elise is so good. Christian just stained his couch because he's been talking about Elise since he played at like fucking Reading.
Oh fuck yeah! I forgot. I completely.
That's been his hobby horse since the beginning of our podcast and before.
For fucking ever. He's been talking about.
He's like legitimately a Ballon d'Or guy now.
Yeah, but I get to play. I get to just diminish Chris just to fuck with him. They only played linebacker, so it's a weak team. Doesn't really count. Can they do it as a cold night in Stoke? That's all I want to know, Chris. All right.
There he goes again. I just defended you. No, he couldn't do it in a cold night in Brentford. Obviously, he'd just shrivel up.
Can he do it at PayPal Park?
Everybody, he's yelling via text here.
But can he do it at PayPal Park with the invincible San Jose Earthquakes right now? 3-0, baby. Okay, that's all I want to know. So expressions with the stream. Mm-hmm. One of the funniest fucking things I had to have seen. Right, he comes back. Spurs are down 5-1. It's the end of the stream, and he looks at his numbers and he's like 18,000. And he starts like and only the way he could do it, like, where are you when we're winning or something like that. He goes, you scoundrels, you vomits, like just telling them, he goes like, you're really all here just to watch me lose my absolute shit. And like, he's so good at what he does. Like he's up there as far as entertainment goes in a very different way, but Mark Goldbridge and him or like when they're having a bad day or a bad game, God, dude, I love watching their streams.
The Goldbridge show, and if Chris was on here, he'd have the picture when Goldbridge was literally hiding behind his chair going, just absolute fucking comedy gold. And again, I think Spurs are so bad. They're like, one of my favorite expressions is like beneath my contempt. Like they're so bad that like it doesn't even come on my radar anymore. Like it was one of those things where I was watching their match and my 2 older kids who play soccer were at home. And I was cackling, laughing. And my 7-year-old, who Mike just saw, she popped in to grab like paper from our office and to color on tonight before bed. And so she kind of pops on. And she's like, "What are you laughing at?" It's like the team I hate is playing really bad. She's like, "Oh, okay." But it was one of those things that like I really early was like, "Oh my God, Kinski, that poor fucking guy." Like I hope he has people around him because like first of all, Igor Tudor was a bad manager at Lazio. So how the fuck you end up in the Champions League knockout stages at a club in the like ostensibly like should be a top 6 to 8 Premier League club? I don't know. Like he was just fired from like he is not he is a like a Galatasaray level manager. Right? He's absolutely not somebody you hire to firefight in the Premier League. He's a fucking asshole who people don't like. That is not the right hire there. Which again, hilariously, that Sean Dyche said no, thank you.
I was going to bring that up, which
to manage Spurs. He's like, no, I'm good, thank you. I'll wait until a better opportunity comes around, which is fucking hysterical. But like when Kinski mishit that last one and went 3, it's like, oh my God, no! Like this is like you do the old way. You do the Matrix like not like this, like. I want them to lose.
Like Work says, I feel bad for Kinski, but I laughed hysterically at Spurs.
Yeah, I mean that's what I tweeted too. It's like fuck Spurs as a club, but oh my God, like poor Kinski. Like I really hope he has people around him because like there's no circumstance where he should be playing away. In like Atletico Madrid's new stadium, the whatever they call the Wanda now is like a fucking. It's like 60,000 people. It's a modern stadium and it's all enclosed. So it's really, really loud and crazy. And they live for Champions League nights. And like putting a 22-year-old inexperienced goalkeeper in on like short notice is a fucking disaster. And you're having like Griezmann and like Julian Alvarez, who like Arsenal very well could be paying 100 million for Julian Alvarez this summer. Like, what are you fucking doing putting them in? And you have Mickey Van de Ven and like you have all these complete assholes in front of them kicking the ball around. Like, why are you doing that to him? Like
it was pretty he probably barely was able to hear and communicate with his defenders.
Oh my God.
In the Metropolitano, it's insane, the noise.
It's crazy there.
Absolutely love it. But Chris brought up another good expressions. One was Crescent's calling his mom to blame her for making him a Spurs fan. And the last one, in the last stream versus Spurs, Spurs versus Crystal Palace, he called social services. And like you hear the social services thing going off on his phone. He goes, "Hello. No, there are children at the Spurs stadium that are being tortured." He's such a good one. It's so
back
good.
On Kinski, I have to say Kinski turns 23 tomorrow. He's 22. He has played 6 total matches for Spurs, and before that, he played 19 matches for Slavia Prague. It's like us playing Tommy Setford.
Is that the kid that we played in a cup game? Because or Matt. Was the guy that came in that played one game or something, and we're like, "Holy shit, he's worse than the 16-year-old."
Yeah, the fucking
Ryan guy.
Ryan? No, Matty Ryan was a couple years ago when we were trying to play the game. But anyway, the punchline is like, and he had like other loans to like Czech domestic clubs. It's like having an MLS goalkeeper. It's like us playing whatever the U.S. asshole who couldn't play goalkeeper for us in our match against
Turner.
Yeah, Matt Turner against Leverkusen, except way worse because
you're like U.S. asshole. Oh, I got it. Okay,
he is not even. He's not even played for the Czech first team. Yeah, he's played for the U21s. Like, it's fucking insane that was his first match that he's played in ages for Spurs, and for a shitty Spurs. Like, you 100% just put your first choice. There's no benefit to putting Kinski in, and you could have destroyed this guy's career. And like, I'm sorry, goalkeeper's a huge confidence position. Like, it's fucking criminal. And the fact they took him out 17 minutes in is like, it could kill his career in the same way that like the Champions League final killed Karius's career. And he has been a backup keeper since then. And he at least said that he's to be like concussed for that. Like, he obviously had a concussion and they didn't pull him, which is insane too. It's fucking criminal management by Twitter. It's insane management. You don't ever do that to a goalkeeper. And when I saw him walk directly out of time, I went, oh my God, no. Like, again, I want Spurs to be embarrassed as a club, and I want them to flame out of it, but like not like this, like not with the head of like a perfectly reasonable young keeper on a spit in front of everybody, and like fuck that club and fuck what they're doing to all those players. They're awful.
In other words, you love to see it. That's
also, also as a connected idea, I love to see it.
Brilliantly summed up. Yeah. Kelly, we got on stream prior to going live. We said we were gonna chat for 5 minutes, and then we spoke for nearly 40 minutes before starting the stream.
as we do.
Then we said we were gonna podcast 45 minutes, and here we are, an hour 15.
Yep.
And this is very us. We're very on brand, with or without Chris. Absolutely. So I'm going to end it. We took the piss out of the rivals because, of course, we can't not take the piss out of our rivals.
Of course.
Long may Spurs misery happen. And God, if they go down, it's going to be funny. My goodness, dude, it's going to be funny. But we'll see how it plays out. But 2 more hours, says Chris, the man that couldn't podcast with us today.
He's too tired.
Said he was going to go to his bed about 30 minutes ago, but here he is with us.
You're a sick man, Christian.
He just wanted to put us on the spot like Kinski. He's like, can they perform under pressure? That's what I want to know. Yeah. We're gonna end it there. We'll be back sometime next week. After, do we play next week or do we play in 2 weeks for the Champions League?
We play all the time, baby. I think we play Everton on the weekend, and then we play the second leg of at home against Leverkusen next Wednesday, I think.
So for some reason I got to an idea that we were taking like a week off. No, it's the 17th, Everton, and then so we'll be back Tuesday/Wednesday, 16 or 17 or 18, and we'll make sure to talk about our, fingers crossed, our move into the last 8 of the Champions League, where we're going to play Bodo Glimt, it seems like. So we'll see how that plays out. So cheers, live chat. You have been absolutely awesome. Thank you for showing up with literally no notice whatsoever, because of daylight saving times, I was sitting down at my desk working, and I lost track of what we were doing today. And then I get a text message saying, hey, are we still podcasting? 15 minutes before we went live. I'm like, yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Thank you, Kelly, for coming through. Live chat. You have been absolutely awesome. Kelly, thank you so much. You can find him on @SouthMetroAFC on Twitter. You can find me at Mike Hers FC on the Twitters, assuming you like toxic environment with a bunch of bots tweeting at you. You catch us next time. Live chat. Thank you so much. Till next time.
Right foot this time, Martin Odegaard.
Zinchenko from Ketchia. Martinelli tiptoeing in. Predatory, perfect. There is a gorgeous arrogance about Arsenal now.
It really is. They are enjoying every second of this.